A lot of people love the idea of living in a gated community. It sounds safe, private, and exclusive, right? But here's the reality. If you don't ask the right questions before you buy, you could end up surprised by fees, rules, or even limitations you didn't see coming. I've seen families get excited about a beautiful home behind the gates, only to find out later that the HOA rules didn't fit their lifestyle or that the monthly fees were way higher than they expected. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the key questions you should always ask before you buy in a gated community. These aren't just about the house itself. They're about the bigger picture of what your life will actually feel like day to day once you move in. If we haven't met yet, my name is Josh Rogers. I've been a real estate agent here in Northeast Florida for the past 15 years, and I lead the F3 home team. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of families make the move here to St. Johns County and the surrounding areas. What we focus on is not just finding a house, but making sure it's the right home for your lifestyle, your needs, and your values. And honestly, most of the time, that all starts with a simple text. So if you're seriously considering a move and want a team of local experts in your corner, just shoot me a message and let's start the conversation. All right, let's get into the first key question you should be asking. The very first thing you want to ask about in a gated community is the HOA fees. Every community has them, but they vary wildly. Some neighborhoods might have fees that are a couple $100s a month, while others can be well over $1,000 depending on the amenities and services included. The key is understanding what you're actually paying for. Do the fees cover security staff at the gate, landscaping for common areas, or access to amenities like pools, gyms, and clubhouses? Or are you still responsible for many of those things separately? It's also worth asking if those fees are expected to rise in the future, especially if the community is still new and building out more amenities. Sometimes the initial fees look low, but as the neighborhood grows, costs increase. Knowing this up front helps you avoid surprises down the road. And while fees are important, they go hand in hand with the rules you'll be living under. Which brings me to the next big question. Every gated community has rules, but not all rules are created equal. Some are pretty flexible, while others can feel very restrictive depending on your lifestyle. Common examples include rules about what color you can paint your home, where you can park your car, or whether you can have boats, RVs, or even certain pets on your property. It's really important to review the HOA covenants and restrictions before you buy. This will give you a clear picture of what's allowed and what's not. Maybe you've always dreamed of having a backyard chicken coop, or you plan to buy a boat in a few years. If the community doesn't allow it, that could be a deal breaker. What I always remind families is that the rules are there to protect property values and keep the neighborhood looking great. But you want to make sure those same rules won't limit your lifestyle in ways that matter to you. And while rules shape your lifestyle inside the gates, safety and security is usually the main reason people choose these communities. So let's talk about that next. When people hear gated, they often think it means complete security. But the truth is, not all gates are the same. Some communities have staffed security at the entrance 24/7, while others simply have an automatic gate with keypad access. And while both can add a sense of privacy, the level of actual security can vary. So the question to ask is, how is access controlled and monitored? Are visitors logged? Is there camera surveillance? What happens if the gate malfunctions? Understanding the system will help you know what kind of peace of mind you're really buying into. It's also smart to ask about emergency access. For example, if you need an ambulance or a fire truck, does the community have systems in place to make sure they can get in quickly? And while security is a big reason people choose gated communities, it's also about lifestyle. So let's talk about amenities and what your day-to-day life would look like. And by the way, if you're in the middle of researching communities and trying to figure out which one really fits your lifestyle, you don't have to do it alone. I run a private Facebook group called Moving to St. Johns County and St. Augustine. It's full of families who are either planning their move or already living here. And it's a great place to ask questions, connect with residents, and hear honest feedback about life inside these neighborhoods. I'll leave the link below, so be sure to join if you want to hear directly from people who've been through it. Now let's keep going and talk about amenities, because this is where gated communities really differ from one another. Amenities are a big part of the draw when it comes to gated communities. You'll often see pools, gyms, tennis courts, golf courses, playgrounds, and clubhouses advertised as part of the lifestyle. But the real question is, do you actually want or need all of those things? Because remember, the cost of maintaining them is built into your HOA fees. Some families love the idea of resort-style pools, water parks, and fitness centers because they know they'll use them all the time. Others realize that they might not be interested in golf or tennis, so paying higher fees to support those amenities doesn't make sense for them. It's also worth asking how crowded those amenities get and whether they're maintained to a high standard. A pool that's technically available but always overcrowded might not be the perk you expect. So as you compare communities, think not just about what looks impressive on the brochure, but what actually fits your lifestyle and will bring value to your family. Finally, let's talk about resale and long-term value. One of the benefits of buying in a gated community is that the rules and the security often help protect property values. Homes in well-run gated communities tend to hold their value and can even sell faster because of the prestige and peace of mind they offer. But not all gated neighborhoods are equal in this sense. If the HOA is poorly managed or if fees keep rising without clear benefits, it can actually hurt resale value. So the question to ask is, how is the community being managed and what does the track record look like over the past 5 to 10 years? A strong, well-run HOA and a neighborhood with consistent demand usually point to a safer investment. Thinking ahead about resale might not feel urgent right now, but it's always good to remember that at some point down the road, you'll want your home to appeal to future buyers too. So those are 5 key questions you should always ask before buying in a gated community. What are the fees? What are the rules? How secure is it really? What amenities are included? And how does it impact long-term value? If you take the time to answer those up front, you'll save yourself a lot of stress and make sure the community you choose actually supports the lifestyle you want. And if you're seriously considering making a move here in Northeast Florida and you want a team who knows these neighborhoods inside and out, send me a text. My team and I would love to hear what you're looking for and help you match with a home that truly fits. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.